Hey, good morning. It's Fort Worth Playboy, and welcome to the Fort Worth Playboy Morning Show. We started a little bit late this morning. My apologies. I'm glad you're here. And if you have any questions, by all means, go to YouTube and put it in the comment box, and I will do my absolute best to address it during the broadcast today. Um, what do we discuss on the Fort Worth Playboy Morning Show? We covered the big four. We cover pickup, game, relationships, and sex. What more could a guy want? And we always start off with a maxim that if I can get my window up, we will get started immediately. Chateau Artiste, maxim number 99. And this is foundational. There's a lot of good stuff today. A lot of stuff seemed kind of like tossed side, the kind of thing you kind of like toss to the side, but all of them actually turned out pretty substantial. Keep pushing for sex until she stops allowing you to push. Again, you want to move a girl from stranger to naked and in your bed. That is your job. That is what you're there for. Anybody else can be her friend. Anybody else can take her out to dinner. Anybody else can take her shopping. Anybody else can like tell her jokes online or send her silly bullshit memes. But you are fucking her. That's what makes you different. So keep pushing for sex. You want to always be moving forward. One of the more common questions is funny though. I used to get it a lot more. I don't hear it as much. They're like, should I keep going out with this girl? Should I ask this girl out again? And I'll say, well, tell me about what have you guys finished physically like each time? And they'll be like, well, the first time we just made out. And the second time I got her naked, but she wouldn't let me fuck her. And then the third time we went out, she wouldn't let me get her clothes off. Well, you don't ask her out anymore. You always keep pushing towards sex until she says no more pushing. And even if you're within a date, you want to take her again as far as humanly possible, all the way to naked and in your bed. Then you put her in an Uber or send her home. But you want to push as far as you can go, because you got to remember, attraction has an expiration date. She may, and this is kind of like in business, why if somebody's ready to pay, we take the fucking payment. Because anybody that's been in business for any time knows that you go, no, don't pay today. You can pay next week when you come in for your first session. And inevitably, they'll get into a car accident. Their husband loses their job. A kid gets sick. Their dog goes to the vet and gets an $8,000 or $10,000 bill. And they never see you again. You're never paid. When you can take the money, when you can close the deal with a girl, you close it that moment. So when you have a girl and you're moving and she hasn't given you a hard stop, you keep pushing all the way to the goal line. This is no time for like half measures or I just wanted to be polite or I didn't want to risk it. She'll let you know. There she is, my Playboy's bunny showing up. She probably would rather be taking a nap, seeing as she was up late with her live theater. But she's here now, and we should enjoy the moment. But keep pushing all the way through. That's what you're there for. That's why she went out with you. That's why you're a player and not a chump. So keep pushing for sex until she does not allow you to push for sex any longer. That's what you're there for. And another maxim is a girl will respect you more for pursuing your manly desires and trying to get into her panties than she will be if you're polite and pretend to be a eunuch. You need to let your freak flag fly in front of these girls. They appreciate you being who you are. That's why she went out with you. She wanted to go out with someone who moves the ball forward. So keep in mind, girls are actually more forgiving to men that are sexually, and I don't want to say aggressive. I want to say they have a plan and some energy behind what they're trying to move her towards, as opposed to the guy that pretends to just want to be her friend or doesn't kiss her. You want to always physically escalate in some manner, because that's what is the difference between you and her going out with one of her guy friends or one of her gay friends or one of her girlfriends. That's what makes the difference. And you should push for sex, because that's what you're there for, until she stops allowing you to push. And that may be within that date itself, or if you're dating her and moving her towards sex and she pulls you back, you just stop and you abandon ship, because it's not going to get any better. Girls, you should always be moving forward. You should be always moving forward towards sex and closing. And then after you have sex, every time you meet up for the first 2 months, couple of years, you should be fucking. You should always be having sex when you guys meet up, because that's the difference between you and her buddy. And you're not her buddy, you're her sex buddy. So maxim number 99 is foundational. Keep pushing for sex until she stops allowing you to push. And there's an entire thing on like last minute resistance that is worth taking a look at too. Just Google LMR and you'll see it. Next slide. Sometimes it depends. I don't know what we always have coming up. It's interesting. Okay. So taking pictures of your girl on the toilet is never a bad idea. There's all kinds of ways you can fuck with your girlfriend or girl. Girls hate to be taken seriously. They truly hate. Just listen to a girl like complain and then take her complaint seriously and watch her face sour, and her voice will become monotone and her pussy will dry up. They hate to be taken seriously, because they know they're full of shit and they want you to treat them like they're full of shit. And again, it's like I always tell girls, don't complain unless you want me to give you a solution. You're not the guy to come to for her to just lay problems on. If she has a problem that is so severe that she needs to voice it to you, you're going to provide a solution of some type. So that's just what you're there for. These guys that, get yelled at by their girlfriends because they won't just listen, you're not there for that. And you should just warn them, hey, if you come to me with a problem, I'm going to give you a solution. I'm going to give you an answer. I'm a problem solver. It may take a while, but we're going to solve that problem that you decided was worth your energy to give to me. So always focus in on fucking with your girls. Turn the lights off when she's still in the room. I mean, these are little things and they sound stupid, but once you kind of get into the habit, it's good for them. I mean, there's entire like channels on YouTube on pranks that people pull on their loved ones. Turn cold on when she's in the shower. This is a classic one. Bunny will try this shit with me. Take a pic of her on the toilet. This is for Insta. Again, it's good for them. You don't take them seriously. They're not to be taken seriously. They're not serious people. When she's dressing, my God, you always wear granny panties. It doesn't matter what she's wearing. Or you're not wearing those panties again today, are you? So anything that can fuck with her. But if she's already dressed, you definitely don't like fuck with her about her clothing, because it's not something she can adjust at that moment. And like I always tell, this is an example. It sounds stupid, but walk in the front door, and if she's like trailing, just close the door. All these things, they're semi-disrespectful. She knows you're fucking with her. She knows you're bigger and stronger than her. And it's just a good reminder that she's a plaything, that she's fun. She's in your life for your mental enjoyment and your physical enjoyment. You get to fuck with her and you get to fuck her. She's really basically your plaything. And that's how you should treat her. And girls are happiest when they are treated like a fun little object. Girls love to be objectified. They love to be seen as a sexual object. They'll say they don't. That's their job, is to say they don't, or to, oh, you're always like this. But that's okay. That's their role. But your role is to always stick with your, who you are and what you do, which is making fun of her and then fucking her silly. So everyone benefits she doesn't get taken seriously. She gets a lot of sex, and everybody is happy. It's when you start taking them seriously and listening to her complaints and not actually giving a solution that things kind of get awry and the balance gets out, and she gets annoyed and she gets like short-tempered because you're not doing your role, which is fuck with her and fuck her. Those are the two big things. Girls hate to be taken seriously. Turn the lights off when she's still in the room. Turn the cold on when she's in the shower. Take pics of her on the toilet. And just generally fuck with her. Not relentlessly, you know. If a family member passes away, it may not be the time. But generally, you know, they're fuck withable. So you might as well do it. Next slide. I put this up today, and this came out like a few months ago, but it's worth revisiting. Some of these things are worth revisiting. I subtweeted, I've been cheating on her for the last 3 years, and it's a guy talking about running around. But 7, I think he's like a personal attorney, but they did a survey on what they've experienced. He's either an attorney or a PI, a private investigator, and what he had observed over the years of observing. Yeah, if I remember correctly, he's a private investigator, which means they track guys and girls, you know, wives and husbands for infidelity, you know, to prove it or disprove it or, you know, find evidence. And some of the things that he had noticed, and it's worth reading because when you see people, it's kind of like talking to a personal trainer that's worked for 30 years. They know people and they know about moving people from fat to fit. He knows how people behave from observation when they're actually cheating or infidelity is happening within a relationship. And the interesting and instructive observations that I took from his and from the other gentleman was it appears women are seeing cheating more often than men. And it makes you wonder. I mean, because so many of the things that we see in research are like self-reported. And you're not going to get, I don't give a fuck how many types of anonymity, how many layers of anonymity you have. Girls are not going to admit to fucking the football team and cheating on their husband. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to get accurate numbers. That's where you get all these girls going, yeah, I've had 7 partners in my lifetime. And, you know, they're not counting the ones that don't count, the 30, 40, 50, 100 that don't count. But women generally are observed cheating more than men. Women bounce onto new dicks faster, monkey branching, planning ahead of when announcing the divorce. And we know that. Again, when does a girl break up with you? She breaks up with you 6 months to a year before the announcement. So generally, girls have already checked out. And one thing that is important to know is like, you know, kind of like they say, don't quit your job until you have a new one already secured. Girls take that to heart when it comes to men. They don't fire a man until they already have another man secure, especially because girls see their relationship as who they are. So they're not going to completely erase their personality or of who they are intentionally without having a new replacement already there. Women cheat with randos. Men cheat with familiar coworkers. I think that's interesting. Again, like Bunny and I did an entire 1 hour, hour and a half presentation where this very straight fundamentalist religious woman destroyed her marriage in a matter of like 6 weeks to 3 months, simply meeting a guy to sell him a chair off of Facebook. This girl was like straight, homeschooling, church involved with both families, you know, heavy Christian follower. And this guy shows up, this ex-con with charisma. And within 6 weeks, she doesn't have custody of her kids. She's living with this guy. She's in trouble. She's going to end up going to jail. And it all it's rando. It's a random thing. It's not something that she planned and said, I'm going to fuck my husband's best friend. It generally, women cheat on opportunity, whereas men will cheat with people that are familiar, women that they come to like over time, women that are in their proximity, secretaries, vendors, women that are moms of other kids that they see on a regular basis. There's going to be some connection there. But women will tend to, and this is like, 51% to 50 to 49% will tend to go towards randoms. And I thought this was the most interesting thing because I had reflected on this before. I had picked this up from just talking to people. Is women love to fuck strange men in their marriage bed. It's not enough to fuck a rando. She needs to humiliate her husband as well as be satisfied. Guys generally do not take strange women or somebody they're cheating with to the house. They stay away from that. They go hotel rooms, they fuck in the car, they go to a park. Women bring the guy home to her husband's domain where he's paid for all the bills, where he's built this house, where he paid for the bed, where it's their wedding bed. But she brings the strangers. So I think that there's something, and Bunny would be the right one to bring this, this very specific. I think it's interesting why women do this as opposed to men who try to avoid it. There's something there that they just like, it throws them off. Whereas women find it more exciting to bring them in. Hey, good morning to Baker, Bakes Online, and to Marty. Good morning. Glad you guys are here. I'm not sure if Bunny's still awake. She's probably passing out. She had a long day yesterday, and every day's a long day when you're Bunny. But women love to fuck strange men in their marriage bed. It's one of those weird things that is very black and white as far as women cheating and men cheating. Men will generally not take women home when they're still married. So maybe it's maybe because women are also at the house more often than men. But there's a weird need to humiliate her husband as well to be satisfied. So it's worth reading. It's worth reading from 7, seeing guys that are on the ground, what they see as well. But again, these are things that you can keep in mind. And again, women are already onto that new dick before she lets you know. Next slide. I've noticed this over the years. When a girl says, I hate to sweat, you can put money on her becoming overweight or obese by the age of 30. Some can hold it together. Some through diet and simply not eating can not become overweight. But generally you'll have a very unattractive, horrible, soft to the touch. It goes straight to the bone. Feel of the skin and the muscle because there's no tone. But when a girl says, I hate to sweat, what she's conveying is she doesn't like hard work or physical or exercise. And it's kind of like in one of the other tweets that I said that, a good screening question for online dating, since you can't really get a great idea of how they look, or, you want a girl that takes care of herself and does fitness regularly. If you're talking about best choices, is I always ask, what do you do to stay in shape, or what do you do, to keep your figure? And, you don't want to hear chase my kids, walking, or nothing. And quite often, or they'll ghost you. They'll realize, oh, he's a fitness guy. And so that's, they'll avoid that because they don't want to ever be under that pressure. But when a girl conveys, I hate to sweat, they're not going to go to the gym with you. They're not going to pick up healthy habits. You're dealing with somebody that down the road it's going to be weight will become a problem 90% of the time, if not more. It's very rare today that it won't be. So when a girl says, I hate to sweat, you can put your money on her becoming overweight or obese by her 30s. And if she's on her way, and they may even look presentable in clothes, but you get the clothes off and it's a completely different story. just know that's from on the ground. It's a trick of the trade. It's a tip that you can kind of take to the bank and test it. And I believe you will see this exact scenario. You ask, what do you do what do you do to stay in shape? I walk or nothing, or I chase my kids, because they get kind of put out that you're asking because they're busy. Well, everybody's busy, but they don't want to go to the gym either or put out any effort. And a lot of them hate to sweat. A lot of them hate to be uncomfortable. And a lot of them hate to put out any effort whatsoever for anything. So you want to avoid that at all costs. These are general things you would want to avoid under any circumstances. Especially online, you see a lot of phrases, and you'll even hear girls say it. They go, I hate drama. Or, no drama. But if you look at what girls do, they watch reality TV shows. They listen to real crime podcasts. It's probably like 90% audience for real crime podcasts. They watch soap operas that have been around since like the 40s or 50s. Worship celebrities and breakups. Men do not track celebrity life. Watch serial killer docs, YouTuber fighting videos where like YouTubers like hash out who's arguing with who, and relentless relationship gossip. Again, when girls get together, they only talk about men. From the age of 5 to 80. They might dabble a little bit about their kids for a while, but generally most of the talk is going to be about men. Their love for men, their hate for men, the men in their life, what's happening, who's seeing who. It's all about the men, central to their life and the drama. Again, that's why even the most low drama girls, God bless them, there's not many of them out there, but even your bottom 20% that just don't need a lot, they're stable. It's like I was talking with Bunny, it's like the most important thing you can find that's not mentioned that much is a stable mood with women. If you can find a woman who has a pretty stable mood, you're going to have a higher quality of life because there's not going to be as much unpredictability as women who are high drama. So if you can find somebody who is stable mentally, you're going to be able to make better plans, know what's coming. Your days will be more structured because nothing worse than not waking up and not knowing what's going to happen. And a lot of men wake up that way every day because their wife is out of control. So girls that say they hate drama, obviously drama is an incredibly important part of their lives. It's important that they hide that because it makes them look unstable. So, but you have to recognize, and again, if you don't bring some of the drama and things are going too good for a girl, she will create it herself. And then you're in reaction mode. You're not sure why she's mad. She hasn't texted you all day. You call her to ask her about something at the house and she doesn't even respond for like 4 hours. Crazy stuff. Again, if you don't provide a little bit of insecurity, a little dread, she's going to create it herself. Girls need a minimum amount of drama in their lives, not for your busiest girls, for your high drama girls, they're going to need a little bit of drama every day. So you kind of got to drip that shit in like an IV. Other girls, every once in a while, you can tell when they start getting kind of like short-tempered, they haven't had enough drama lately. And it's the exact opposite of what you as a man thinks a girl needs. You're thinking, oh, she needs, a break. She needs some recovery. She needs me to be good to her. She needs my assurance. She needs her assurance that I'll be there. She hates you. She wants some drama. She wants to not be sure. She wants to think you might be fucking somebody else. She wants something to occupy her mind and cause her to chase you at that time, because that is the best kind of. Girls are happiest when they are chasing a high value man. And even if she's been married to you for 15 years, you can put her in chase mode. All you got to do is give her an idea that you might be seeing somebody else, and she's going to be pursuing you one way or the other. And again, it satisfies her need for drama, and you can control that. And then you can have, after fight, you can have makeup sex, and then she's relieved and it's good enough for a little while. And then she'll maybe get into a fight with your sister. Then she's got some more drama. It doesn't always have to be about you. But again, girls have to have a certain minimum amount of drama per day, and everybody's different, to be happy. Girls love drama. They get it in any way they can. And this is how they kind of like drip it into their veins during the day when you're not around, when you're actually out, earning a living and busting your fucking dick. They watch reality TV shows. They listen to real crime podcasts, cause their own anxiety. They drink the shit out of caffeine, watch soap operas, worship celebrities and breakups, serial killer docs. Oh, and human trafficking. All the human traffickers are always looking for like an overweight 45-year-old mother of three that's at the mall. You're like, okay, human trafficking falls under that serial killer doc. YouTuber gossip fight videos and relentless relationship gossip. Then get on the phone with a girlfriend and the girlfriend's unhappy with her husband. That's almost as good as her being unhappy with you. She gets a little bit of drama and she's happy. But again, remember what is key. Even if you have a low anxiety, low, drama girl, they're going to need a little bit because they just can't stand for things to be okay. Keep that in mind. If things are quiet, it's a Sunday, things are quiet, the kids are good, you better kind of give her something to chew on, because Monday it's going to hit. If she's not busy enough, they're going to start thinking of shit that they're not happy about. And then you're out of, give her something to be unhappy about, and she'll actually be happier. I know it's counterintuitive. It's the craziest thing ever, but it's the real deal. Girls say they hate drama because they love drama so much. Kind of like, I hate assholes, and all they do is go out with assholes. Remember, they're going to tell you what they like. It's just not going to be couched in those terms. Next slide. Fundamentally, the guys I see doing absolute best, that don't struggle, that don't bitch and complain about not being able to meet up with girls, they move fast. And if the girl's not on board, they go to the next girl, but they're moving fast. Move her from online to in-person as fast as possible. Time kills attraction. Every guy that fails at online game, at some point, they go, I got stuck texting her. That's where you hear us, and a lot of this came from like Coach Corey Wayne, logistics only. And when we say logistics only, you're not just going to like go, hey, and then send her an address and hope she shows up, because she's not autistic, and you shouldn't be either. Again, it's opener, a little bit of flirty banter, get her onto text, get her off the app, and then set up a date. And then meet. You are strongest. Keep in mind, you are strongest in person. Women are stronger online, because they're looking for, before you start fucking her on a regular basis, and I can't say this enough, she's looking for a reason not to fuck you. But when she's in your presence, you've got your height, you've got your build, you've got your charisma, you've got your presence, and she's focused in, and there's no other distractions. It's rude if she's on her phone. Again, getting a girl in person, and if she's already bought into the idea of meeting up with you, she's 90% convinced to fuck you. The one thing you can do is talk her out of it. But if you're following this show, you should be pretty good at not talking girls out of fucking you. Again, there's all kinds of benefits to moving quickly and it doesn't even have to be where you meet her online. If you meet her at work, or if you meet her on the street, or if you meet her at the gym, but you want to move quickly from that meetup or securing her number to getting her in front of you and having a drink and getting to know each other, and moving her from complete stranger or familiar face to naked and in your bed. That speed matters. Attraction has an expiration date, or is like one of the other guys calls it like an escalation. No, an escalation or an attraction window. It's like the window's open and you can come in and out, but once it closes, and it will, she's not interested anymore. It's very difficult to reopen the window. So you want to move or strike while the iron is hot. And the guys that have the most success, it's not luck because it's skill. The most success move girls quickly. And again, remember, if she says no, or she blocks you or slows things down, that's fine. You go to the next girl and move her quickly. Again, you're going to go through hundreds, if not thousands, of girls over time, but you're looking for yes girls. In fact, I shared a story from a guy who's, I think he moved her off of Hinge. He said she was a yes girl. And it was a textbook, meet up, banter, bounce, banter, his place, a little bit of last minute resistance, and he fucked her. One day, Hinge, date, bang. That's it. And it's interesting and instructive. That's exactly how it should be. He moved her from complete stranger to naked and in his bed. And if you talk about this in a systemized, reliable, repeatable method, you plug the girl in. You can plug her into your game. Again, you know exactly what to say. And you talk about this stuff to like normal, everyday schlubs. And it looks like, well, they don't believe you. First of all, they don't believe that it's possible. But we know it's possible. We know in our world that this is how we do things. Again, you move her from online to in-person as fast as possible. And you can only do that just like my How to Build a Dating System book. It walks you through how to move her from complete stranger to in your bed. And you can find that at fortworthplayboy.gumroad.com. I'm not shy about selling my information because you can use it. I think it's like $29, and it'll save you about 2 years of frustration, and you'll get fucked more. I mean, there's just no downside. $30 and you're fucking more often, more reliably, and you're plugging girls into your system and moving them. And it's got to be planned. You got to know what you're doing. So many guys don't get laid because they're showing up without a plan. They don't know their logistics. They don't know how they're going. They don't know where they're going to fuck her. You've got to have all this stuff already set up mentally, know where you're going, and then you can move her through that process and close. And that's where you start closing like 80% of the girls you go out with, 90% of the girls you go out with. You just don't miss. And it's normal. You're better at picking girls. You're better at moving. You're better at abandoning girls that are going bad mid-date. You're like, oh, this isn't going to work at all. So you just pay the tab and you leave. And then you're back. You meet somebody else that night. So there's no downside. Moving her from online to in-person as fast as possible. Remember, time kills attraction. You have to move quickly. You have to move with a sense of urgency inside and with intent. And she doesn't have to know any of this. You just take care of things. You move things forward, and you focus in on the yes girls. You ignore and dump the maybe and the no girls, and you'll have far more success. You'll be happier. More girls in your life that are happy because you moved her from stranger to naked and in your bed, which is where she wanted to be. So, guys, it's Friday, and I'll be back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. We're doing this bad boy 6 days a week. If you want to support this channel, like, subscribe, share with your friends. If you want to invest in yourself and your game and your relationships and your sex life, you can find bunny stuff like Fuck Like a Porn Star at myplayboysbunny.gumroad.com or myplayboysbunny.com. And you can find my stuff, including the How to Build Your Dating System, at fortworthplayboy.gumroad.com. And I think the URL is down there in the bottom corner. But thanks, Marty. If you like this, like it, share it, comment below. It goes a long way. It helps us get seen, and it helps me interact with you guys. And I want to hear from you. Hope you guys have a great great Friday. See you on Saturday morning.